What's up, everybody? Here we are again with another live episode of Defusing the WMSCOG. Welcome to the smoke room. So we're opening it up. We got somebody that wants to join today, and he wants to talk about a few topics. Our good friend Mitch. But while we're
What's
waiting
up,
for him,
everybody?
we're going to go ahead and read a little bit of Suin's book. So I think it's good to just kind of read a few chapters from all of Ansan Holmes' truth books every time we do this. I think it'd be a good exercise to do. So let me share my screen while we wait for Mitch to join. Hopefully, you guys can see my screen. It's not like the other day. All right. So here we are again. Suin's book, God Who Came in the Flesh. Today I want to take a look at chapter 9, which is evidence of Jesus coming in the flesh in the New Testament. So again, this is Suin before Ansan Hong wrote down the Green Book. Let's see what she has to say. So, John chapter 10, verse 16, I have other sheep that are not of this sheep pen. I must bring them also. They too will listen to me, to my voice, and there shall be one flock and one shepherd. The other sheep that are not of this sheep pen refer to those who, besides the believers in the apostolic era, will be gathered with the Lord at the end. Referring to the prophecies of Ezekiel, we see the following. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 12 through 16. As a shepherd looks after his scattered flock when he is with them, so will I look after my sheep. I will rescue them from all the places where they are scattered on the day of clouds and darkness. I will bring them out from the nations and gather them from the countries, and I will bring them into their own land. I will pasture them on the mountains of Israel, in the ravines, and in all the settlements in the land. I will tend them in good pasture, and the mountain heights of Israel will be their grazing land. There they will lie down in good grazing land, and there they will feed in a rich pasture on the mountains of Israel. I myself will tend my sheep and have them lie down, declares the sovereign Lord. Additionally, Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 23 to 24 says, I will place over them one shepherd, my servant David, and he will tend them. He will tend them and be their shepherd. I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David will be prince among them. I, the Lord, have spoken. If you carefully read Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 1 through 31, you will understand that after the truth of life, which Jesus, David established, was trampled by Satan, he will return in the flesh to gather his scattered sheep during the day of clouds and darkness, meaning the end times. Sounds so familiar, right? And then Luke chapter 22, verse 16, for I tell you, I will not eat it again until it finds fulfillment in the kingdom of God. Look what Suin says. The kingdom of God refers to the present time now. See also Hebrews chapter 12, verse 20 through 2 through 24. Matthew chapter 25, verse 31 through 46. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the peoples one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Sorry, Zangyoja. Looks like Suin got you beat first on the when it comes to the sheeps and the goats, because I know they made a video about that a few years ago. It says this connects to Ezekiel chapter 34, as seen here. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 17 through 24. As for you, my flock, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will judge between one shepherd and another, and between rams and goats. I will save my flock, and they will no longer be plundered. I will judge between one sheep and another. I will place over them one shepherd, my servant David, and he will tend them. He will tend them and be their shepherd. Therefore, the parable in Matthew chapter 25, verse 31 through 46, refers to the Lord Jesus coming in secret. How do they arrive to that? But anyway, in hidden form to judge. This is also prophesied in Daniel, Daniel chapter 7, verse 9 through 14. In this chapter, the prophecy describes a scene where Jesus comes before God the Father to receive authority, glory, and a kingdom before his second coming. Matthew chapter 24, verse 23 to 27. It is easy to misunderstand this prophecy as Jesus coming dramatically, like lightning flashing across the sky. But before such a day occurs, he will first secretly gather his people who are trapped in darkness. Matthew chapter 24, verse 23 to 27. No, I'm sorry. Matthew chapter 24, verse 27. This is my favorite. For as lightning that comes from the east is visible even in the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Psalms chapter 97, verse 4 through 8. His lightning lights up the world. The earth sees and trembles. The mountains melt like wax before the Lord of all the earth. The heaven proclaims his righteousness, and all people see his glory. Zion hears and rejoices, and the villages of Judah are glad because of your judgments, Lord. Thus, lightning refers to light, and light represents the gospel. The prophecy indicates that this gospel will arise in the east. Really? Okay. Revelation chapter 7, verse 2 through 3. Then I saw another angel coming up from the east, having the seal of the living God. He called out in a loud voice to the four angels who had been given power to harm the land and the sea. Do not harm the land or the sea or the trees until we put a seal on the foreheads of the servants of our God. It says many mistakenly believe that Jesus will come riding on physical clouds in the sky. Scientifically, clouds are formed by water vapors condensing in the atmosphere and they block the sunlight. Similarly, Jesus coming on the clouds refers to him appearing in the flesh with the glory of God hidden. Revelation chapter 10, verse 1. Then I saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven. He was robed in a cloud. The cloud here symbolizes the veil of flesh that obscures his glory. Luke chapter 18, verse 8. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? In John chapter 1, verse 10 through 13, it is written that even though Jesus was among his people, they did not recognize him. The same situation will occur during his second coming when he appears hidden in the flesh. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 7 through 9. It will be a unique day, a day known only to the Lord, with no distinction between day and night. When evening comes, there will be light. On that day, living water will flow out from Jerusalem. The Lord will be king over the whole earth. On that day, there will be one Lord, and his name, the only name. Jesus also warned in Matthew chapter 13, verse 14 through 17. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. Truly, I tell you, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. The prophecies clearly reveal that the Lord will return in the flesh to restore the truth of life lost after the early church era. As the Samaritan woman testified, John chapter 4, verse 25, I know that Messiah called Christ is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us. In the same way, today, the Messiah will come and teach us the complete truth of life, just as he did during his first coming. Those who accept and follow him will be blessed, while those who reject him will miss this great opportunity for salvation. So, just in that chapter alone, how many parallels? I literally, there's like six different sermons in this one chapter. But anyway, we'll keep doing that every time we join a live. But looks like Mitch has joined. Welcome, Mitch. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. Can you hear me okay, Edgar?
Yeah, man, we can hear you loud and clear, bro.
Awesome. I'm
So,
still I'm still in my white shirt because today I went to the LDS church
okay, okay.
for morning worship. So
So maybe
still
you can
in.
talk to us a little bit about the LDS church, man.
Yeah, I will. I want to get into that in a second, but I'm glad you keep bringing up Suin. Just because I feel like this is such an important topic, Suin, and it's something that's so hidden from the members, and especially with her book, God in the Flesh, which was published in 1978. Um, but what is so interesting about this book, it wasn't just published with her, it was also published along Lee Sok Chol. So you know about Lee Sok Chol, he was pretty much like the first pastor, like kind of appointed by An Sang Kwong, and he was a co-publisher of this book, God in the Flesh. What's so interesting, and I encourage anybody that is listening to this to please check out the book God in the Flesh, published by Suin. And I want you to make a clear distinguishing factor between Suwin's teachings when her teachings were written and the teachings previously written by An Sang Hong. The reason I state this is if you look at An Sang Hong's original teachings, original books that were published, there's so many things within the book published by Soo-in and Lee Suk-chul in God in the Flesh that were never even brought up by An Sang Hong previously. They were very new topics like Melchizedek, King David, and it's very interesting that this book was allowed to be published by An Sang Hong because he never excommunicated them. They weren't excommunicated, Lee Suk-chul or sorry, I'm sorry, Soo-in until years later. So it's very interesting that this book was allowed to be published, even under not only one of the trusted missionaries, which was Soo-in, but also the first appointed pastor by An Sang Hong. And the teachings in this book are very similar to the teachings we have. Actually, not only very similar, pretty much almost copy and paste to what we have in the Mystery of God Swing of the Water of Life. Before we had the Mystery of God Swing of the Water of Life, An Sung Hong actually published another book very soon after Suin's God in the Flesh called The Secrets of God. And it's pretty much copy and paste from her book. And so it makes you question if An Sung Hong didn't discourage the publishment of her book, if he didn't excommunicate her or this pastor Lee Sok Chol for years later, where did he get these teachings from? Because it wasn't from his earlier teachings. They all originate, at least historically, if you want to look historically, the first appearance of many of these teachings, Melchizedek, King David prophecy, God appearing in the flesh a second time, they're all appearing in Suwin's book, God in the Flesh, 1978. But we don't see them in any of An Sang Hong's original writings. It's only after this book was published that these teachings started to appear. So I really have a problem with this control of information within this church and people not being able to get the full understanding of actually what's going on. It's actually very interesting. You know, I've been going to the LDS church very recently, not because I believe the LDS doctrine, guys, but you know, can you hear me? I'm sorry, I just clicked my mic. Okay, so I've been trying to make comparisons and understand this group compared to the World Messiah Church of God. And I've noticed through their church app, they have a lot of, I guess you can say, information that is very harmful against them. The Book of Abraham, I don't know how much you guys know about this, the Book of Abraham, the CS letters. However, they allow these letters, the Book of Abraham, all these things that are very against their teaching, technically, that kind of can almost disprove the LDS Church. They have this open to the public on their apps. Do they have their own interpretation on it? Of course they do. They do. Um, but I got to give credit where credit's due. They're not hiding it, though. They might put a spin on it to make it fit their narrative so it doesn't like destroy people's faith, right? Because it does disprove their religion, if you're going to ask me, but they do at least put it out there, right? And the Royal Messiah Church of God, they don't put it out there, they cover it up. They just make it to where you just never see these books. You never understand about them. If you go online, you're eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And I always thought that was so weird when I was getting ready to leave that God's books, you know, God came in the flesh. God came in the flesh to save us, but why would he write books that we can't read? Um, why can't we read his earlier writings? And this is a really big problem to me. If he's God, if this is the truth, what are they hiding? I just kind of wanted to get your little your input on that, Edgar.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. The truth has nothing to hide, and withholding information to me is the same as lying. You're lying to me from the jump, and so if you already started off lying, the relationship's not going to end well. Unless you're used to being in toxic relationships where you don't mind being lied to, and they continue to stretch the. This is what happens in toxic relationships all the time. the narcissist in the relationship is trying to constantly see how many more times he can get over on you before you finally decide to leave. And if they can keep lying to you and you still keep accepting it, they're just going to keep taking it up a notch and another notch and another notch. And this is exactly what these type of environments do to people. They just basically seeing how long will you take to snap out of it. Hopefully you'll never snap out of it, just always follow along. But it's very sad.
No, yeah, and I would agree with you. And it really, I was watching a movie very recently, which I love. I do genuinely love the movie. It's a movie that actually the church recommends to us all the time. Have you seen The Truman Show?
Oh yeah, yeah, I sure
You
have.
know, um, I used to use it in a way the church used to say, look at this spiritually. We're just on this world. It's not real. It's just a play. But after watching it again, it's actually one of my favorite movies, watching it again, being out of our so-called truth and after understanding everything we went through, I looked at the movie a lot differently. And just like Truman, Jim Carrey, who plays him, he's in a world that's controlled. You know, they control his world. Of course, there's an outside world, but they control it. They control the information, even the people, how they act, and they put you in this bubble and make you believe a certain way, even though it's not true. You don't have the full understanding of actually what's going on. And I looked at it a different way, this movie, from what the church taught us. And I looked at myself as like Truman, while I was in the church, as I was lied to so many times about their actual history, everything that's going on in the outside world. Um, they try to make it seem, Truman, he just wanted to go to Fiji, man. He just wanted to go on a vacation. They're like, no, that's dangerous. Planes are dangerous, boats are dangerous. You can't leave here. It's the same with the cult. It's just like, oh, you shouldn't go out. You can't do that. Don't do that because if you go on vacation or you do stuff like this is sin. Satan could affect you. And they put you in this bubble. They keep you in a bubble just like they did Truman. And I looked at it a lot differently after looking at the movie and was just comparing it to our church. And I, man, everything we went through and everything everybody's been through that, is on the live chat that are also maybe former members. We went through a lot in that group. We went through information control. We were really deceived, and still, it angers me, and that's why I still have to. I feel like even though it's hard, I feel like I need to speak about it, and be getting more courage to actually speak about it now, right? Because the church tries to hold you down and threaten you and make it to where they don't want anybody to speak out when they leave, threats of not only excommunication, as you know, because we're out, but threats of lawsuits, threats of things like this. This scares people from doing it. But I'm not going to be held back. I'm not going to be scared to speak about it because this is what they want. They want to control us not only when we're in, but when we leave as well. They make a mindset when we're in that when we leave and if we speak out, things are going to happen to us, right? And I feel like many members are stuck by this, and I don't think it's if you want to be completely free of this group, you should not let them control you even after you left. And that's why I'm so encouraged to even speak, come out on live and talk about this with people. Even though I'm still careful, though, as much as I can be with the way I do it, uh, people need to know about this group. So,
Yeah. No, that's good, man. And I commend you for it, Mitch, because it's a brave thing, you know what I mean, to be on here. You know what I mean? It's a brave thing to be anywhere on any platform and share your experience, especially on sensitive topics like cults. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when people leave, the last thing they want to do is talk about it. You know what I mean? But it's because of that. And I think that, so now I recently posted. I got a video with ex missionary Ron Ramos coming out, and I wanted to give him his flowers because he was actually him and Michelle to me they're like the goats. You know what I mean? They're the originators.
I
They're
would
they're
agree.
Jordan and LeBron. You know what I mean? And I feel like Michelle, she's been in the trenches for so long. She started the website. It really changed the game. But the reason why I got a lot of love for Ron is because Ron was the first person to really like speak out on video, and like it took guts. And talking to him, like I realized, like when I went back to look at his video after talking to him and him saying like, man, I was nervous when I made that video, and seeing it, like replaying the video and looking at his body language, he was nervous, he was
Yeah,
tripping over some
he
of his
was.
words. And like it's crazy because like just what you mentioned, like when you leave, the fear tactics even after you leave, right? And it's designed, right? They want you to feel like you can't, not so not only did we ruin your life, not only did we take years from your life, not only did we in some situations, we took away your education, you know what I mean, your goals, your finance, whatever you had lined up. Sometimes we broke up relationships, but even after it's all said and done, don't ever tell anybody about it.
Yeah,
How dare you? And I think that the most powerful thing members can do is exactly that, is talk about it. Because what's happening, this movement that's starting and it's growing, it's happening because the courageous people that are coming out and willing to share their stories. And so, man, I commend you for that, Mitch, and everyone that that's spoken up. And some people are doing it in different ways. You know what I mean? And but it's really impacting. You know what I mean? And there's it's pretty cool to see, man. We're living in real time. You know what I mean? We're seeing people wake up out of the Matrix, out of the Truman Show. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
and it's pretty surreal, bro. So
And I think it's more important for us now, end of 2025, 2026, to speak out more than any other year. The reason I say this, guys, is because this group, you've said it many times, Edgar, and even finding the alternative, Adam, you guys have said it many times, even Jordan. This church is quick to change. Now, why is this important? We speak out and we actually mention what's happening. When you get a group like this, these cults that are quick to change the narrative and quick to change their history and, the story, right? When they continue to do this and change their ways, they're going to become more mainstream. Of course, they're going to always have their strange doctrine. And this is the same with the LDS Church. And as of now, if we go back 20, 30 years, I might call them a cult. Um, but I'm sorry. I might offend some people with the way I put this. And people can disagree, and that's what's great about being out. We can actually openly disagree with things, right? And not feel bad about it. If we look at it now, I'm very fine saying that the LDS Church is like a false doctrine. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the Book of Mormon, but I don't think they're a cult. And that's just because of my definition of what a cult is nowadays. And it's because they changed. These things were happening to them. They were getting pushback. And this was during an age without even the internet. So even an age without the internet, they were getting pushback and they were able to change these things. And now they've become more of a mainstream religion now. And the problem is we're living in the age of media now. And so things are happening a lot quicker. So when things happen, we speak out, church changes. They change the narrative. People start learning new things. The church starts becoming nicer and easier. But at the end of the day, a false religion is a false religion. And if we don't hit groups like this hard, they're going to just change so much to where we can't really say anything about them other than their doctrine. And it's only going to just grow like many other false religions are. Many false religions just grew. They just survived this like period of like descent, right? And it's the same with the Roman Side Church of God. They're going through a period of descent now, like of people leaving, you know what I mean? So there's two ways this can go. They're either going to become a mainstream religion or people are going to actually step up. We're going to speak about it. We're going to do what we can and actually expose it for what it is to where they can't change the narrative. They can't change the history because we have too much content out there actually sharing about this group. And yeah, just everything I learned just in the military as well about, you know, deception, coercion, manipulation, because we learned this in the military, at least with what I did. And, you know, I saw so many of the same tactics within inside the World Messiah Church of God. And I just, you know, people watching this, if you're World Messiah Church of God members, or maybe you're an offshoot of them, you guys might hate me now. Many of the members from my last church, they actually blocked me. Um, Never reached out to them. They just blocked me because either the head office or my overseer told them to. And you guys can't lie about that because I have evidence of it. There's no reason. Maybe if one person blocked me within 1 week, maybe, you know, maybe it's just a coincidence. But when most of the members block me within a 1 week, this isn't a coincidence. It's somebody coerced it, right? Somebody made them do so. And I think that's really messed up even when I wasn't speaking out at this time. But when you guys want to go to this extent to like to where people don't find out actually about what's going on in the church, this gives me more fire to speak out. When you guys push on me and you guys do things that are more wrong, that make you look more like a cult, it gives me this much more energy to actually push back. And I'm the kind of guys like, if you guys want to take me to court, let's go. I really don't care. I'm at that point with you guys. I'm ready to fight. I just don't want people to be lied to, and we still live in a country with freedom of religion. So if you want to believe in the World Messiah Church of God, go ahead. My only problem is I don't like you guys not having the full information on the group before you join it. So if you guys want to judge me, if you guys want to get mad at me, like current members, for speaking out or saying stuff about this, all I have to say is, hey, I love you guys. You guys, if you want to believe in this, go ahead and believe in it. But guess what? At the same time, where you can be like, oh, Mitch is a false prophet, Mitch left the church, he's now some, I don't know, what do you, apostate, right? Go ahead. You have the right to say that, but at the end of the day, guess what? I don't care. I want to be able to speak my opinion just as you can speak your opinion about me. But at the end of the day, I just want you to have the information. I just want you to be able to see the things that they're not showing you. And I think that is so fair, guys. There is stuff that they're showing, not showing you. And I hate to say it, but you have to be, once you see, you kind of have to be super brainwashed to not realize they're lying to us. And I think it's something we need to think about. And we need to think about research is not sin. Adam, your guys' outreach you guys did in Utah was amazing. I love the sign because it's true. Research is not sin. This is the things that North Korea does. This is the thing that the CCP, the Xi Jinping, the Communist Chinese Party does. They they restrict access to information and they only give you one narrative. They make propaganda videos. Like her video at the World Messiah Church of God. Oh, An Sung Hong, he gets on a train and he heads to China. Hey, at the end of the day, I'm starting to think that might be true because you know we got Eastern Lightning now out of China. They believe in like a female Jesus. I'm thinking he might have actually went there. I think hey, if we're gonna get into conspiracies, I think he lived and he went to China and started this whole other church because he's like, I don't think the WMSCOG's working, so we're gonna go with the Eastern Lightning now.
There you
But
go.
anyways, guys, there's a lot of propaganda like this out there that the church is doing, and research it's not sin, guys. I think you guys should be able to share both sides of the story. The World Messiah Church of God also has a website called the True World Mission Society Church of God, and actually, on their main video there's something that they say. They say, and I love to say it, they say that because people they're like, oh, how can we believe in An Sung Hong? I can't believe in An Sung Hong, but then they make this analogy. They say, in a court of law, if you were the judge, would you only listen to the defendant's, prosecutor's point of view, without and make your decision without listening to the defendant's point of view? No, you would never do that. Why? Because you want to get all the facts. That would be stupid. That's pretty much what they say in the intro video to the True World Messiah Church of God, the website they use to counter slanderous material. But we can use the same thing against them. Then why, when we're in, we can only listen to you guys, the defendant's point of view,
The
but you don't
rules
let us go and check the persecute.
the
You
rules
guys are
don't
such
apply to them,
hypocrites.
bitch. The rules don't apply to them, bro. I'm
It's
sorry.
crazy. And I'm sorry, it's like if you're gonna use that in a video to justify your point, when somebody goes online to see, okay, thanks for saying that, let me then go online and actually check for myself to check the other people's point of view to see if what you guys are saying is true or not. I'm so done with this ideology of saying, oh, yeah, we're just gonna believe what you tell us, and yeah, we're not gonna go online. We're not gonna do any research. This is straight up propaganda. And if you think you can just listen to anybody's point of view without getting the other point of view, and you think that's okay, I am sorry, that is technically being brainwashed. And I will admit it, I have to say I was brainwashed because for so many years, even though I was taught in the military to be able to understand both sides of things. When I came into this church, I just accepted everything. Didn't matter what they told me, any video they showed me. But finally, I woke up and I'm like, okay, thanks for giving me your guys' side of the story, which I'll still take into account. But I think I have the right to also see what other people have to say. Let me see the other information out there. And when you guys see the other information out there, you're going to be so shocked when you see An Sung Hong's original books. You are going to be shocked. These are not fake books. There's a reason they can't copyright these people that have the books because they're the original books of An Sung Hong. So they can't get copyrighted by the World Messiah Church of God. And if you actually go and read An Sung Hong's books, The God You Believe In, you will see The Bridegroom a Long Time in Coming, The Failed Prophecy of 1988, the failed prophecy of 2012, which was like the backup prophecy. You will see many of the teachings that An Sung Hong brought into your book that you consider practically the Bible, the Green Book. You will see many of these teachings are not original teaching. They were taken almost verbatim from Suwin's book of 1978, God in the Flesh. And I just want you guys to have just full discernment and understanding before you make a decision to follow the World Messiah Church of God. And that's all I care about. If you actually do the time to faithfully and genuinely do the research, but you still want to stay in the World Messiah Church of God, I'm fine being friends with you. At that point, we can agree to disagree. My only problem is this censoring of information, the control of information, and this is what makes this group a high control cult because they're deceiving, manipulating, and feeding their members propaganda without actually them being able to understand the truth. Sorry, I spoke quite a bit, but Edgar, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, hold on real quick. Mitch is on fire today. I think I don't know what was in his breakfast, but he woke up and chose violence because he's bringing the smoke to the smoke room. I
Yeah,
love it, bro.
I'm just done with it, dude. It's about time. I think I have a right to share my opinion, and I just want the church to know, and I keep mentioning it. I know you guys watch it, and again, my wife, she's never gonna watch these videos because they're told not to by the church. But I know if she knows about this video, guess what I know you guys are doing, church? I know that you guys are so scared that you're having to interfere with her marriage that I didn't show her the video. She would never find it on her own. The only reason she would find it out is if you told her. And I've already seen many times when I ask you guys questions, you guys just call my wife. You don't call me. I ask you the question, you don't give me the answer, you call my wife. And I already told you head office and I told you mold overseer, I'm done with that. It's very disrespectful. I'm the one that asks you guys the questions. You guys should answer to me, not my wife. Stay out of my marriage. And the reason I'm doing these videos is because if she ever finds out, I know it's because of you, church. And if you if you want to push that, I mean, it's only going to push, you're just pushing the button that much more with me. So you push the button enough to where I'm actually on a live stream with Edgar. I never thought about doing this before, but you kept pushing it. And the problem is you keep pushing it more. So if you keep doing that more, it's only going to give me more fire within me to attack. And if hopefully you guys don't want another Michelle Cologne, but I'm right there. I'm ready for it. And if you guys really want to act this way against me for speaking out, let's go. I don't care. I'm not going to be silenced. So
100. I couldn't say it better myself. That's what's up, Mitch. Yeah. I think that it's important that members take a stand against this organization who, for many years, has intimidated people and will try to intimidate people until they met the right one in Michelle Cologne. And, I think since then, people have been slowly starting to realize that if one person could stand up to them for so many years, then they really ain't about nothing. And I've told them, you know what I mean, from the get go, I'm not shying from the smoke. I'm not running from the smoke. I'm trying to get into the smoke. So they already know what's up with me. I've been begging for dialogue with them. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
Yeah.
running. They know where I live. I'm, at this point, it's all hands on deck because I got family involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, when members say like, why not move on with your life? You know what I mean? Well, because that's the easy thing to do. It's much harder to do this. But you know
Yeah.
what? This is the commendable thing to do because there's people in there that were in my position. If I can try to help as many people that maybe came in, I came in at 18 years old. You know what I mean? I know a lot of my boys that are in there. I know so many people that went in there at a very young age, lost everything. You know what I mean? So if you can prevent that, why not? You know what I mean? If you
Yep.
can help families get back together, why not? You know what I mean? And
And
go ahead,
yeah,
Mitch.
I love how you said that, Edgar. And there's a quote, um, because I watch a lot of other videos from different religious groups because of what I'm doing, but a lot of like LDS podcasts and stuff because of what I'm also doing with that group. And again, if any LDS people are watching this, hey, I have no qualms against you guys. I think you guys are great people, but there's a saying said on many of the podcasts, and it's like they left the church, but they won't leave. They leave the church, but they won't leave the church alone. And they use that to say like there's people speaking out, but they leave it. Why don't you just leave them alone? But you won't leave the church alone. And I'm sorry, you guys lied to me for 6 years. So my mind might work differently than other people. I was lied to you guys by 6 years. So now I'm going to spend 6 years helping people realize you guys lied to us. So you brought me 6 years in. I'm going to use 6 years of my life to go after it. And you guys are like, oh, you're wasting your life. Or no, I have my job. I have my company. This is free time. Same as Edgar. Edgar has his job. Adam has his job. We have our own job. This is free of charge, free labor, just like we used free labor in the church for many years. Hours and hours of doing construction. You guys didn't call that a waste of time. I don't think this is a waste of time either. And I think I'm spending actually less time doing this than the time I spent in the church. So, you know, everything we went through, I just, I'm doing this in a sense that it's kind of a test too for the church. Genuinely, me coming on this channel, it is a test for me. It's a test to see, are they going to reach out to my wife? And I want to ask you, church, are you going to reach out to my wife? And this is already on YouTube, so it's already going to be saved after this. It's already on live, so this is something I can use later, if you want to go there. But are you going to share this with my wife? You guys want to get that much into our relationship? So disrespectful. And I think any church, any organization, any religious organization would agree what you are doing. If you do that, it's so disrespectful. Not saying you will, but if you do that, you are crossing a line. And if you cross that line, yeah, things will happen. So I just wanted to say that. And that's why I'm coming out because I'm just kind of seeing what the church does. I want to see if they hinder me or try to hinder my wife. And if they do that, it's only gonna burn a fire in me more. And some people are like that. Not everybody. Some people will shut down when that happens. But there's other people like Michelle Cologne. Oh, you're gonna attack me? Well, that gives you me more fire to attack you. And I just want you to know I am another Michelle Cologne if you make me that way. So let's not make me that way because I don't want to. Uh, but if it comes to that, it will be. And I know it's pretty hard language I'm using, but I think it needs to be said, especially with my position, because it's a safeguard for later. if they do end up doing what I say they if they end up doing what I say they could do, it's going to make them look worse in the long run because I already spoke about it. So, anyways, anything else on that, Edgar?
No, man, I love it, bro. I mean, honestly, I just feel like the church always counts on, you know what I mean, like ridiculing people, calling it slander, and hoping that everybody just does what they do, which is just leave and not make a peep. You know what I mean? And what they don't want is somebody to actually speak out, and they can say whatever they want. Oh, this, like you said, the LDS, what, you know, whatever phrase they use. Oh, they leave the church, but they don't leave the church alone, or you know, I mean,
Hmm.
stuff like that. But what they're really trying to say is that they're inside, they're panicking,
Yeah.
they're angry. They just want you to shut up and ride off into the sunset. And it's like, and what if I don't want to? What if I
Yeah.
don't want to?
We can do
This,
what we want.
yo, this is my life, bro. You know what I
You
mean?
can do what you
Like,
want.
I could do what I could, just like I could shut this live off and go do something. I choose to spend my time right now on they head. And
Exactly.
what they gonna do about it? They got to deal with it. They got to deal with it because again, people are entitled to hear the other side of the story. And here's my problem with the WMSCOG. The WMSCOG for the longest, they would oh, I read this, father's book online. I saw a copy of father's book that's not shown to us in the church, and I have these questions. Oh, brother, that stuff is nonsense. That's not even real. That's not true. Don't worry about that. You're lacking faith. You just need to read the green book. It was that's special measures. No, like a lot of that stuff is fake. You can't trust everything that's on the internet. That's my favorite. But then, oh, how the tides have
Mm.
turned, because now when people actually do look into that stuff, they acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true, but let me explain it away. And I think that shows you even more how much of a cult this place is because of that very reason.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, and I just want, if any current members are on, we don't hate you guys. I was right there in that position. It's just, we're told one thing by the church. Oh, you hear about these things and you ask the church, and they're like, oh, don't worry about that. And they just use words like, Mother said it's okay. Mother said these three chapters were removed, so it's okay. If you're brainwashed, that's the answer you take. But, if we're going to use our actual God-given conscience that God gave us, we could say, okay, I'll believe you guys because you guys told me this, but I'm gonna check it out because there are three missing chapters. You guys mentioned it. I do want to find out what they say because you said they were removed. And what I was told two different stories. First story was they were removed because Mother said we don't need them. Well, actually, let's say there was three different reasons why. One, because Mother said we don't need them anymore. The second reason I was told these chapters were removed is because, oh brother, this was the most common one. Oh brother, the reason those were taken out is because Green Book was already pretty long, so those chapters are actually just spread throughout the other truth books. That's what I was told. But they never tell you which ones because they're not in the other truth books. But I was told that just to be like, oh, okay, nothing's missing. They just took them out and they put them in the other truth books. So I was told that. And the worst one I was told is, oh, brother, they were removed because those things were already fulfilled. That's the worst thing they could have said. I guess, okay, there goes Old Testament. Let's get rid of most of the New Testament as well. And hey, the prophecy of like King David, the 1948, that's fulfilled too then. Let's get rid of that, right? It,
Exactly.
guys, let's think logically here. How can you say they were removed because they were already fulfilled? We know something is a truth if it's been what? Prophesied and then fulfilled. And by reading it, you can have faith in it. Like the the death, resurrection, and burial of Jesus Christ, because it was prophesied, because it happened, and we saw the fulfillment, we can have what? Faith in it. But then to say we took something out because it's been fulfilled, what? That contradicts everything we've ever learned about anything. By seeing something being written down, prophesied, fulfilled, and we witness it or read it, we have faith. And when I heard that excuse when I was in Korea, I was like, are you kidding me? This is the answer you're giving me? This is it. It what I thought when I went to Korea because I was leaving the church as an assistant, they flew me out there, that they were going to give me better answers than I was getting in America. And I had enough faith still to be like, hey, I saw these things, but I'm not just going to leave the church. I've been in the church 6 years. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go to Korea. And thankfully, they lodge. And again, I give credit where credit's due. Thank you guys, everyone that was in Korea. Thank you for lodging me and feeding me and taking good care of me when I was there. But I don't think the people that lied to me and knowingly lied to me to cover things up. And I really hope members, if you're watching or you find out about this video, you actually spend the time to actually watch this full video because I'm not saying, how do I put this? It's like we're told the internet is a sin, and every group that I've been infiltrating, and most of these Asian groups, guys, it's the same thing. We're not special. All these groups, they all say the internet is the tree of knowledge, good and evil. But guys, let's be honest, the internet appeared within the 2000s. Has the church been around longer than the 2000s? Yeah, right? It was around longer before even the internet. So then what was the tree of knowledge of good and evil before the internet? Because into 2000s is when the internet started. So like, did this just like all prophesied all of a sudden happen? Now internet's a tree of knowledge of good and evil. When did it change? How about you guys tell us that? When did it happen to become the tree of knowledge of good and evil? And I'm not saying there isn't bad things out there online or lies, because I think even there's lies about the church online. There is. But guess what? Guys, if you just do your research, you guys are all smart people. If you just do your due diligence or research, you'll be able to very clearly see, yeah, these are lies. Again, I can share one right now. There was things about um blank trafficking with his church around the whole United States. It was going around. But guess what? I'll be honest, it was a lie, but that was getting around online. But you can do your due diligence and find that out. That's a lie. I give credit where credit's due. People that say that, it's a straight up lie, and I'll defend the church on that. But I will not defend their lies about these books. They're out there. They're not a lie. They're official. They're real documents, and they've been authenticated, even by third parties. So there's nothing they can say to me to, they can call me a demon possessed, rude, evil, liar, deceiver, all they want, but at the end of the day, I'm not an apostate. It's just I found out that what they were teaching me, they were lying about things, and these lies that they were teaching me were so bad that it destroyed my faith in this church. Go
Hey,
ahead,
hey,
Edgar.
Mitch. Hey, Mitch, real quick. So I think someone answered your question about what was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil before the 2000s.
What they say?
Trey Key Glock said your local library was the tree of the knowledge
Oh
of good and
man.
evil. That's hilarious, bro.
I mean, I guess because, the internet is the library of
Uh,
information now, so.
it's so crazy to me because this place will really like have you thinking the internet is a bad thing, yet they're constantly
Yeah.
lurking on it. They have a whole internet mission dedicated to be on the internet. You know
It's
what I
it's
mean? And
ridiculous. It's ridiculous, genuinely. I go to Korea and I'm like, how do they know this information? You know what I mean?
yeah,
They know all these things that are going online. So it's just weird because when you read the Bible, Edgar, is it good to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil?
no.
Heck no, right? But I guess there's some people, mother's like, go ahead, eat up, boys. Hey, eat up.
It's
They're
crazy,
special. They
bro.
get to they get to see it. They get to eat from it, right? They get to
Yeah.
eat from that tree and all, and we can't say they didn't. And that's what they told me because I've asked them before. Oh, so like, why is it that they get to see this stuff online? Because the only way they would know this information if they saw it online. The oh, mother give them special blessing and protection. What?
So, in other
What?
words, by that logic, they're saying that mother is encouraging them to
To
sin.
eat from the tree, she allows them to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's what's happening. And it's so much. When I was there, I'm just like, you guys know all this stuff that I know, and you're trying to counter it. But I'm like, how do you know this? You shouldn't know it because it's the true knowledge of good and evil. And it's just hypocrisy. I keep seeing this hypocrisy over and over again. And if you guys think as a church, oh, Mitch, you don't know anything. Well, guess what, guys? I went to Korea. I was sitting with the internet mission team, mother, general pastor. I was sitting with the head Quantum. I was sitting with all of them, not mother for like and general pastor for like the explanation, but the head internet mission team pastor. And their excuse for these things, their answer was no better than your overseer could have gave. I went there thinking I would get it a good question. So I don't want to hear you guys say, "Oh, brother, you didn't understand." What are you talking about? I went to the place of understanding. I went to Korea. I didn't just hear it, "Oh, brother, well, your overseer told you wrong." No, I didn't just get told by my overseer or my regional pastor. No, I flew to Korea and I stayed there. And they're the ones I opened up to these questions about. And let's talk about Swin's book, God in the Flesh, 1978. You know how many times I ask questions about these things? I asked the question, why is this blank, blank, blank? And I was just told, oh, they changed the subject, go on for 10 minutes. And then I bring it up again, change the subject, 10-minute speech. And then I bring it up again. And I literally see this guy shaking. Like just like you can just feel the anger in him, like, dude, why is this guy not like just submitting? I told them when I went there, the only reason I came to Korea is to get answers, no propaganda. And I told them my military experience. I told them I'm gonna know if I've been lied to or I get my answer. And this happened over and over and over again while I was there. The bridegroom is long time in coming. Same way. I ask a question, they divert the answer. Happened multiple times. They didn't answer it, especially with the women's veil. Right, I'm sorry, The New Jerusalem and the Women's Veil, the book that An Sung Hong wrote. It is true, he did redact one of them, and they were shocked by this when I said this, because when this thing was going around, he did write a book to counter Suin, but it wasn't just to counter her, it was to counter any explanation about any women god. But this happened like 4 or 5 months earlier. He gave out a book, but this is what the World Messiah Church of God doesn't tell you. It is true he redacted one of the books, but they don't tell you that actually he redacted that one because it was just a quick copy. But a couple months later, he actually fully published the book on it. So it wasn't just taking it away for a little bit, which is what the Word Messiah Church of God tells us. And that's what they were shocked by because I told them, I was like, yeah, I already know about this. Yeah, he redacted. And they're like, oh, see, you understand? I'm like, oh, but you forgot to mention that he republished the full book in blank, blank years. And they were like, oh man, like you could just see the irritation in their eyes because they realized how much I actually studied. And then when we got into the book about the Mother God that and the refuting Suin claim, which it was about refuting Suin in some way. We got to be honest where that is true. But they pointed at verses and stuff, the verses that the World Side Church of God uses, and it's like, guys, I was an assistant. You don't think I know these countermeasures? They're literally just using the countermeasures the church uses. The same thing you see on the True World Mission Society Church of God website they made. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, oh, thanks for mentioning that. Cool. But I was like, well, how about this chapter? They didn't expect me to know the chapters in the book because I already told them when I was there, I read every book. I've read every chapter. I said, don't play me. Like I've already read everything. And they use the countermeasures, and I was like, okay, well, how about this chapter? And they just tried to immediately, when I pointed out a chapter that immediately refuted them, especially like chapter 5 and 6, immediately what did they do? He changed the subject completely.
Of
Completely. And
course.
I kept bringing him, this is a pastor of the World Mission Society Church of God headquarters who runs the internet mission team. You, you guys want to tell me that, oh, this is truth, they're not lying to us, then tell me why basic questions within these books, a pastor at the headquarters has to keep changing the topic because he can now answer his question. I'm not saying, guys, I'm not a genius. I'm not I won't even say I'm a smart guy. And, I think you guys, you current members would agree completely, right? But guys, it doesn't take too much IQ points. It doesn't take a lot of knowledge to realize that these people are lying to us when we actually read these books. It's pretty straightforward, I would say, once you actually put in the time to read them. And I was lied to. And that's why I don't want to be held back by the church. That's kind of why I'm speaking my opinion. And later on in the future, I'll maybe share more, but this is just kind of, at least with the World Messiah Church of God, at least what I kind of want to share about them for now. But what do you have, Edgar?
I'm just reading the comments section, man. I see Trey Keeglock says Elder Victor the magician Lozada and his poorly written counter arguments on the true WMSCOG. So that's the website you were referring to. And I
Yeah.
just want to say I've heard that name come up so many times, this Victor Lozada guy. And so if that guy's listening or one of his minions are listening, I invite you to the show, bro. I hear you got a lot to say and you love to defend the WMSCOG. So, why not come join me in the smoke room, man? I love to have a back and forth with you.
And I have one
Um,
thing to say on top of that. Guys, I have my receipts with everything. So I just want the World Messiah Church of God to know. If you think you have something over me, you don't. As soon as I became assistant, you guys already made me to start doubting because of certain situations, and I made sure I kept all my receipts before I left this church. I spent almost a year and a half pretty much in the position I was, and that whole time I kept my receipts. And I only mention this because if you really want to come after me, it's not going to be in your best interest. I can very much promise you that. I very was meticulous, and you might have called me dumb. Oh, Mitch, you're dumb, stupid. Why did you leave? All kind of names you guys could probably use against me, but guess what? I have my receipts, so I just want to put that out there again. So if it really comes to it, you guys wanna play that game, I'm right there with you. So
yeah. I love it, man. You woke up and chose violence today, bro. I'm
I did.
convinced.
Yeah, Edgar. Yeah. By the way, I was te texting Edgar. I'm like, we're going. I want to go live today.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I've been busy. A little tired. I'm like, Edgar, want to
I'm
go
like,
live?
bro, my vocals is killing, man. I just got done wrapping up an interview.
I was
Mitch is
like,
like, now we got to go
I was
live.
like,
I'm
I was
like,
like,
let's do
I
it.
was like, shut up, Edgar. Ain't no time for rest.
I know, right? He's like, don't boast about tomorrow. I was like, man,
Yeah,
I'm about to hear a sermon today. Nah, man, I'm
I guess
glad.
it's right. I mean, it's true, and it needs to get out there. And I don't want to be. I really don't want to be silenced by the church. Yeah, they have some things they could put on me, and it's not even things I did in the church. It's just things that the way the church tie me down in certain ways, as you would know, right? And they can use those things against me. So Edgar, what those reasons are. But that's what they do, and I'm starting to think what they did to me, which what they did to me, right? With the situation, I'm starting to think this is why they do that to the assistants and overseers, because when do you ever see an assistant or overseer speak out? Ever? Have we ever, guys, let's be honest, have you ever seen an assistant overseer speak out on the channel? Like any of the channels? No. And it's not their
That
fault.
doesn't mean that they don't reach out. A
They
lot
do.
of them reach out. It's just no one comes
Yeah.
out and talks
And it's
about it
not their
for.
fault. I
Yeah.
know the things the church has on them, the things they want to use against them, but I'm gonna tell you right now, we're almost like church God, I'm not that guy. You guys never even paid me. I paid you. Maybe that's the problem. Uh,
That's dirty, man.
maybe because when I got my lawyer when I was leaving, and he asked me, when did they ever pay you? And I was like, nope, I just paid them. And he's like, well, you don't really you weren't even technically an employee with them.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
And you heard
hey,
it here, World
Mitch.
Inside Church of God. So,
How dare you lie on them? They paid you in galaxies, brother. Please.
so
The blasphemy.
well, they need to refund it because because I mean, if that's how they're paying me, obviously when you leave, you don't get them. So they need to refund me because I left. So
how many miles long wings did they say we're gonna get? I forgot.
7 to 15, I think, is what they said.
Seven to
7 to
15
15.
miles, man.
Yeah. And hey,
Wow,
I
brother.
like I was watching one of your earlier things with Jordan, and I love how you said when members leave, they because it's unholy, like when they make a new song, it became unholy, so they
Yeah.
take it out of the new song book. Well, since we left and we're unholy, that makes our tithes and offerings unholy as well. So you guys should also not be using that money. You should probably refund that too, because technically, according to you guys, that's demon money at this point. So you guys should probably just get that back, because I don't want you guys to be cursed or anything. Genuinely, I'm
I mean,
concerned about this.
I literally mentioned the whole thing with Judas too. Like Judas, after betraying Jesus for the blood money, he tries to give the money back, right? I mean,
Yeah,
even
he
Judas
doesn't.
had that type of conscience. These
Yeah, even he
people,
had that conscience to like give it
yeah,
back.
like no, these people, it's like keep adding into the piggy bank. You know what I mean? It's just wild, man. It really is how this place operates, bro. And funny thing is like earlier today. So I was going because man, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. Members keep reaching out, and members
I'm
are sending
listening.
me
One sec.
like books and like CDs and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pop in some CDs in here on my computer, and because I wanted to go through the new songs and see like if there's any things that I could talk about. And the funny thing is, I kept there was this one CD had a few songs on there. One of them was "Oh Valiant Warriors of the Truth,"
Oh,
and I'm
valiant
listening to that.
warriors of the
Yeah,
truth.
I'm listening to that, and I'm like,
Dun, dun,
these
dun.
people are there's the complete opposite. They are not valiant warriors of anything. They're because they're afraid to come on a live and talk to you,
Oh
let
my
alone
goodness.
do it in person.
Edgar, I just realized something.
What's up, bro?
Since you have the CDs, as long as you play it in like a CD box, like not like on like directly online because they'll try to copyright you. But since you have the CDs, you could do that the intro to all your videos or live stream like before. Start playing them on the CD player. They can't copyright that because it's just you're playing it that music in the background. You have the CD. I don't know.
Don't give me any ideas, man, because then y'all gonna see my live start off with like Moses staff or
Yeah, the staff of Moses. Hey, you should do the one where it's,
know.
144,000 ascending with mother.
Man, bro, do you know what? I think you just gave me an idea. And again, if this place, right, is the truth, speaking about that, you know what I mean? Like, why lie so much? You know what I mean? And the fact that they're adapting and reacting to everything we say over internet people that are just saying things, if it's fake, why are they reacting to it?
Yeah. Edgar, do people talk to you? Like, let's be honest. Like, this is how this church is. Any other church, if you walk away from their church, they'll still talk to you. They'll still
Yeah.
be friends. Have fun at your other church. And let's be honest, though, usually most of them don't speak out, but they probably don't speak out because people aren't shunning them. Guys, the Jehovah Witness church, I will say Jehovah Witnesses are a little worse when it comes to like shunning because even like your like actual family members like will pretty much cut you off. But the Mormon side Church of God, you leave. Think about this. Most people, when they leave, people won't cut you off. They'll just kind of stop talking to you. If you still texted them, they'll still maybe text you back because they want you to come back, right? But if you speak out, they're just going to block you. Now, listen to this. When you're an assistant and you leave, I never even spoke out at all yet. But because I'm an assistant and I left, everyone blocked me. No one wants to talk to me. Everyone's just like, you're to Satan now. You're Satan's offspring. Man, that's something. But
Which goes back to what I always say. It shows you that their mother's love is conditional.
it is conditional.
It
It
it, it
100% is
it's
conditional.
it is based on the condition that you do what they ask you to do.
Yep. I
And
got
the
something for you
moment,
too. But go ahead, yeah, finish.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, it's just crazy to me, man. Because again, we're not talking. I mean, obviously, we are talking about a human, but in their eyes, we're talking about God.
Yeah.
And for God to have these petty characteristics, I mean, so how can I say this without giving up too much information of some projects that I got cooking up? But matter of fact, I'm gonna just say that. Go ahead, Mitch.
Okay. Yeah, so eventually, let me actually plug my computer in. I want to share with you guys. And I think it's really big and it's gonna be big. And I got some projects coming up. Edgar, don't spill the beans. I think I mentioned to you a little. This won't be, nobody's gonna know until it's nobody. Like it's just, I'm sorry, it's one thing I can't. But you'll know you'll know when it happens. Let's just say it's gonna be next year sometime. But we'll give a little hint, right? They don't know what it is. But I want to eventually start sharing with you guys how pastoral staff are treated, different things they teach us, how we're treated, videos we watch as pastoral staff. Because again, no pastoral staff have spoken out before. It's true. I haven't seen it. I've not seen a single pastoral staff. I've never seen any of them speak out. And I think it's due time for one to do so and spill the beans on what happens at that inner level, that inner circle. And even with the videos, like I'm watching one of the overseer videos for how they're supposed to treat assistants because like I'm getting rebuked by my overseer, and he's pretty much trying to tell him like without directly telling me, watch this video, and then the head office is pretty much like you need to straight up just yell at your assistant for no reason. He just needs to be yelled at a couple times a month. No reason. He needs to be treated like crap. So assistants, I don't know if you guys know, but the assistants actually are the scum of the earth in the church. Yeah, they might be in a higher position, but they are literally the lowest position in the church. You are the slave of the overseer. You do whatever he says, and you are the slave of the members. You have to do, whatever your overseer says to make them feel happy and joy, which I agree. We should, as assistants, genuinely make members feel happy. Because think about if you go into a church and the leader makes you feel like crap. So I do agree on that end, but the way your overseer treats the assistant is very messed up. I mean, let me spill some beans. You cannot get up. You have to get up before the overseer, and you cannot go to bed until the overseer goes to bed. You have to shower before the overseer. So everything is revolved around that. You have to serve the overseer. You like literally your overseer is like your master and you are his slave. And you have to learn like this to be a leader in the church. And it became so messed up. And even my overseer, he screamed at me, just yelled at me for just the most crazy stuff. I was told one time I was at a lunch with the overseer wife and my wife, and I coughed once. I didn't even have COVID. It was literally because I like choked on water. They're like, you need to go get a COVID test. And I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, fine. And think about this, guys. I'm not a paid employee. So they're forcing me to get a COVID test. I'm not even a paid employee. And I'm like, okay, let me wait until tomorrow because I'm military, I'm VA. So the VA covers it for free. They're like, no, you need to go to a urgent care. So I go there. And I'm like, hey, I'm not getting it. They say it's like $300 to see a doctor because I don't have like my regular health care because I'm with the VA. I'm gonna have to wait until tomorrow. I get screamed at on the phone. So I just scream back. I just blow up. And that's how it is. The overseer wife tells me she hates me, like super rude to me. Yeah, let me just put it out there. You want to be super rude? Like, you don't want to talk to me for like 3 months? You want to treat me like crap every time you see me? And if you do tell me something, it's demanding and being rude. And then only after a video shown by head office do you come and tell me, I hated you, but because God told me, I'm gonna try to love you. What, dude? Like, dude, the stuff that
Uh,
happened to me as an assistant, like it was how, let's get into money. Let's get into money. I want to get into this actually. I was told by my overseer, your sin, go ahead. I got my receipts. I won't say your name. I have enough respect to not say the overseer's name. And again, if you leave, I'll love you like nobody else. But again, you're a leader of this church. And I think the reason you and your wife treated me the way you did is because of the group, because of the church. And I don't want to hold that against them because I do think they treated members really great, and I want to give them that. But let's get down to business though, where business needs to be served. I got a really good job when I became an assistant. I got an engineering job. I was making a lot of money, and I was giving quite a bit to the church. I was giving my tithe, my offering, but then I was giving like an extra 3,000 to the church every month. Okay? Which is already quite a bit, right? But my overseer tells me, Mitch, I know, like, because he knows how much I make. I told him, I thought I was blessed by God. God gave me this job to serve the church. And I want you guys to know, I never had a plan B. I never had a problem with money. When you become an assistant, you take an oath to be frugal. You take an oath to be like, my money's for the church. It is true. Let's just be honest. When you take that, your life is with the church now. You don't have a plan B. That's where the money should go. And I agree, guys, I agreed with it. I was like, all my money, you should go to the church. And my overseer, I wasn't giving all at this time to the church. I was giving more than probably most of the members were. But my overseer eventually told me, he's like, Mitch, you're an assistant now, and you have a good paying job. He's like, I don't think you have a plan B, but the heart and mind, we should give more to God. And at that time, I thought about it, and I'm like, I agree. I was like, I agree. So let's just think about this. I'm just gonna let you guys know. I'm not gonna tell you the amount, but I made over 100, and this isn't a brag. I'm just letting you know because I didn't make that ever before. I made over $100,000 a year as an engineer. And I eventually started to give pretty much everything to the church, almost everything. So let's just say well over $3,000 a month to the church. So I was pretty much giving my entire paycheck to the church. And my overseer still comes up to me. He's just pulling me aside, brother Mitch, brother. I don't like talking about money, but he's like, you know, I don't,
Well, let's
you're
talk
really,
about money.
yeah, but let's talk about money. And that's the thing. I'm just being honest, it pissed me off. I don't care if they get mad if I say that, it pissed me off because this is what started all my doubts. I had no problem giving my money to the church because I took an oath to be frugal. My goal was go and run a church one day, be very humble, live it like have the church vehicle, all that stuff. So that's what I did. That's what the way I want to live. And he'd pull me aside and he's like, Brother Mitch, I think your sin is money. And I was like, what? Like genuinely like confused. I was like, my sin is not money. And I'm like, I know what my sin like, how are you to tell me what my I know what my sin is. Again, I'm assistant. We're very reflective, especially as assistants, on like what our problem is. And I'm like, I have some arrogance, we can say maybe here or there, you know what I mean? I think we all do. And I'm like, I'm trying to overcome that. But I'm like, my sin is not money. Like I said, overseer, I left my pilot job. I left the military for this church. I'm living in a state I never wanted to live. I'm living in Oklahoma. I've been living here for years. The only reason I stayed after I got done with the military is because of the church, because it had leadership and I was trying to serve it. I don't have friends here. I don't have family here. They're all in different states. I don't want to be here. This wasn't my career. I'm like, the only reason I'm here is to serve God and to eventually get assigned to a new place and lead the gospel there. And he's telling me, I think your sin's money. And I'm like, dude, I'm living in a shed outside. I give all my money to the church. And I'm like, what do you mean my sin is, it really made me so mad because I'm like, you don't understand me, dude. You think you know me? You don't know me at all. And it made me really upset. So that happened and yeah, I was giving a lot of money to the church and he ended up bringing it up again, saying, I don't think you're giving everything to the church. And this was kind of the last straw for me. This is when I actually rose my voice mad because, I really didn't want to be disrespected like that and to be told what I am and what my sins are. And when he didn't even fully understand it, he always takes himself as very intellectual, like he knows everybody better than themselves. And it really upset me. And yeah, I remember raising my voice and I was like, are you serious? I was like, I'm giving everything to the church. And eventually he's like, yeah, I believe you, I believe you. But then he brought it up again, and I go to his office and I show him my bank account. And I still have the screenshots from the day and everything. And that's why I said I have my receipt, guys. So if you guys want to say, oh, man, this didn't happen, I have my receipts. Same as that overseer, same as the church. I don't want to be messed with. I have my receipts because of all this. And I showed him my bank account. I'm like, how much is in my savings account? I'm like, $1,000. That's it. How much is in my checkings? 1,000. Where's it going? I'm like, does it look like and I was like, check all my apps. Let's look at my apps. Does it look like I'm into crypto or stocks? I'm like, no. And it made me so mad because this was when he said he trusted me, but I knew he didn't. And after I showed him my bank account, he's like a sigh of relief. That's what he did. And I was like, really? You just said you trusted me, but you just did a sigh of relief. You didn't trust me. And this is what started my rabbit hole. And this is when I just realized, like, this is mess. I can't even be, even when I'm being honest, he doesn't believe me. Genuinely honest. He's not even believing it. He's like always like, oh, it's not about money. I'm like, in my head, I'm starting to think it's about money because I'm giving my money and it wouldn't have been a problem. Really, I would have given all this money. It would have been totally fine. But the problem is he kept pushing it. He kept saying, this is your sin. You're not giving everything. And I'm like, what are you talking? I'm giving more than anyone in this church. That's not to boast, guys. I just want everyone to know in the comment. It's not to boast. I was given a lot. I was given everything. And to be kind of defamed like that and to say you're not doing what you are doing, it was so disrespectful. And I lost so much respect at that time. And that's when we started to have a lot of problems. And, he'd be showing me videos from the head office about how the overseer needs to treat him. And that's why I yell at you. And many things other than that happened that were very wrong. And eventually, I was like, something's up with this. Something is really wrong with this church. If anyone said I didn't have faith, well, I went to Africa. I got put in jail, by the way, in Africa, preaching for this church. So nobody can say I didn't have faith. So I have all my photos and everything of that. So nobody can say I didn't have faith. I spent all my money for this church. My vehicle was used for every single short term. I put hundreds, thousands of miles on my car. I was the one paying for all the gas to get brothers to and from the States all the time. And I preached every single day while I was at this church. Since I was baptized, never missed a Sabbath, never missed a third day. Worked my way up to assistant really quick. And I didn't have a single doubt until I became pastoral staff. And as soon as I became pastoral staff, the way my overseer treated me, I started to lose all my faith. And then not only that, my pre-theological school that I was in with all the other students that were about to become assistants, I would say maybe half survived. Actually, probably less than that. Most of them fell away. The one from Houston, Austin, they all fell away. And even one of them, one of the brothers, he has two overseer brothers, and he fell away too. Let me just not even get into that, why he left, and how the church used him to spy on an overseer. And when that brother did and reported that he's touching girls' hair and kissing a baby and doing all this other crazy crap, teaching different teachings, Daniel Park's teachings, reported all this to the head overseer, like the regional leader, did nothing about it. So he left. He left the church. And then guess what? A couple months later, I told him, and he was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's an elder now. He got promoted." I'm like, "Are you serious? This is the kind of church it is, guys. They have you spy on somebody, and then when you report on them, like he's an assistant. He's not even an assistant. He's a pre-theological about to become assistant. He's spying on an overseer." And that overseer was doing messed up stuff, and he was the one reporting it to the regional leader. Regional leader did nothing about it. Head office did nothing about it. Nothing. Touching girls' hair, kissing a baby's on the lips. Like what the dude, like what? Teaching false doctrine. Ends up getting promoted to elder. But this church brings so many people in, more than any other church I've ever seen. More than probably New Windsor. This is in the South Central region. This is the kind of stuff that's happening in this church. And when you become an assistant, when these pre-theological start seeing what's happening, there's two ways you can go. You just accept it and you accept the misery and you just get sucked into the system or you wake up. That's what happens. Two things happen. You either get sucked in and you're like, I have nowhere else to go. You get sucked in, you just become a leader. And I feel like half of them don't even believe, anyways. Half. That's why I said half. I think some were just really extreme. I think mine fully believed, but he was just way too extreme. And then the other half are like, dude, this stuff's crazy. Like, what is going on here? Like, I never knew this was a thing when I was a member, but we're doing this right now. Like, this is the way you're gonna treat me. This is God's church. And after that, I'm like, dude, this is I'm done. And that's when I opened up, and that's when they sent me to the main church in my region to get me to believe, and then that didn't work. They sent me to Korea, Busan general pastor. That didn't work. Head office came back. I stepped down, and I'm like, it's a process, guys. I doubted for almost a year and a half before I could leave as an assistant because it's not just walking away. And I see how they do it because they even told me, my overseer told me, I think you should get rid of your car. I think it's time. I think it's good. You should get rid of your car because if you get rid of it, like just for the gospel, you know what I mean? Like you have the church fans, like when you go to a new place anyways, you're not gonna have your car. And I just real like now that I'm realizing, I'm like, dude, that's what they do. They suck all your money out of you so you can't go anywhere. They take your vehicle because you don't have a vehicle. So you're just so tied down. They put you in an arranged marriage. And then you're tied down even more to like from leaving. Like you're literally in a dungeon when you're an assistant. They tie you down so much. And then I was also told when I first got married, oh brother, you should get snipped. You think about like you should get you ever think about he's like I did. Well you should too. He didn't I will say he didn't force me and same with my car, but it was always like it was mentioned. And like are you this is it, dude. And when I'm in, you're thinking, oh, this is normal. But when I had time to think when I left, I was like, this is blank, blank crazy. You know what I mean? Bat blank crazy. Like it's just nuts when you get at that level. And everything that happened to me, and maybe later I'll go into the lies of what happened in Korea because I think I have the smoking gun with what they said in Korea. Even if you want, I don't know if you have time, I'll say it. I don't even care at this point, but
Go
I know
for it,
I
man. We
said a lot
already
right
here.
now, but go ahead.
Go for it.
All right, so Korea. Here we go. Yeah, this one might we'll see how this one goes. Uh, you got my back, right, Edgar? Right.
Bro, you already know that's not even a question, bro.
Yeah,
You
so
got smoke with Mitch, you got smoke with me.
so Korea. Let's talk about the Bible, An Sang Hong's Bible, right? If anyone's listening on the chat, I think it's really important you guys like pay attention at this point. And just for my safety at this point, just because it's kind of broad, right? And I will say this is my opinion, right? This is my experience and this is my opinion, guys. And this is going to be saved on record. So, in a court of law, we'll see this part. Okay, so we're sitting in the conference room at the headquarters in Korea. I think it's after lunch, maybe 3, 4 days before I leave. And it's not something I even had a doubt about. Many people they question kind of like the baptism of An Sung Hong, and I think there's questionable doubt, right? Is it 1951 or is it 1948, right? Whatever. I even when I was doubting the church, I never doubted this part. But the Sanim that's always with mother, the internet mission team pastor, the leader, he's in the room. They're sitting before me. She's here, and she walks in the room, and I'm just kind of playing it out in my head. She walks in the room. She's like, Mitch, we have something very special for you. And I'm like, what is it? And she's like, Mother allowed us to show you Father's last three Bibles. And even when I completely pretty much doubted at this time, I'm like, this is still pretty cool. It is still history. Whether it's false history or not, it's still history. So I'm like, this is kind of cool. So she pulls out of the bag three Bibles, places them on the table. She's like, this is Father's first Bible. This is Father's second Bible. And this is Father's third Bible. And she says, "You see this?" So I get a look, and she's like, "You see this third Bible right here?" And I put it down, so you got the desk right here, right? I even use my Bible to explain it, how it looked. See his third Bible right here? I'm like, "Oh yeah, 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 it's cool." She like, so she opens it. She's like, "This is the one with Father's baptism," and she's like, "Oh, okay, sorry, it's not there." She does this. Oh, it's not here either. Oh, brother, I'm so sorry. I think I accidentally grabbed I think I accidentally grabbed Mother's Bible, and then she does this. She pulls out of her bag like it was already pre-planned. Let me just take this paper. Think about this as a laminated copy of the page where Father wrote in the Bible, baptized Knox on Incha in 1948. So she's like, "Oh, but like here's his photocopy." So first off, red flags already popping off in my head because I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. Why, if you brought the original, why do you already have a pre-planned photocopy in this bag? Because you don't need it if you have the original. Anyways, I'm like, red flag, kind of weird, but whatever. So she puts it out and she's like, see this photocopy? See, it says baptized Knox on Inch on 948. Oh, brother, brother, you see that top, here we go. But you see that top right-hand corner, bro? Right there? That's Father's seal. That red seal right there, that's Father's seal. That's authenticating the Bible, like this document here. Like, cool, like whatever, dude. Like whatever. Again, I want you guys to realize how weird this is. I've already been to Korea at this time. I went to Korea the year before. I already went to the History Museum. In the Church of God History Museum, guess how many Bibles there are? There's three of them in a glass case. So she came in bringing me three Bibles, and she said she accidentally grabbed Mother's Bible. My head is like, do you guys think
Ow.
I'm dumb? Like, I just don't understand here. Like, I don't know what's not clicking here. Like, you guys must think I'm an idiot. Like, that's how I feel. Because, because I'm like, I've seen the glass case. There's only three in them, and one of the Bibles opened up in the glass case says baptized Knox on Inch in 1948. So, if there's only three in the glass case, how is it that you bring me three, but one of them's the wrong one and it's Mother's Bible? They knew they brought me the wrong one. They knew it. And that's why they already had the photocopy prepared. They didn't want me to see the original. I don't know why, but guys, again, this was not even a doubt I had. They made it worse for themselves. I guess God's right, right? If you start doubting, more doubts will be presented, right? So, that's kind of what they say. I mean, because it's true. So, at this point, I'm like, they lied to me. It's a red flag. But it gets worse, guys. I'm sorry. It's not over. It gets much worse. My last day in Korea. They're like, "Hey, brother, we updated the Church of God History Museum." Man, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this video. Okay, anyways, yeah. Here we go. They're like, we updated the Church of God History Museum, and we want you to see the like updated parts. And I'm like, cool. So we go in there, and guess where the first place we stop at is Father's part with the glass case. And guess how many Bibles are in the glass case? There's three, guys. This is the first one, the second one, and guess what? The third one's opened up to the page where it says baptized Knox on intro for 1948. So I'm like, okay, guys, like what the heck? Like you can't just grab a wrong Bible. There's three in here. Like you guys are lying to me. And I'm like, why the laminated copy? And then it clicked. The laminated copy had a red stamp on it that they said this is Father An Sung Hong seal approving that this is authentic. But guess what in the red case? There ain't no red stamp in the top left hand corner of that Bible page. So I'm like, oh, you got this is even worse now because you showed me a photocopy with it. The one in the glass case doesn't have it, and then you guys lied about the whole Bible thing. I'm like, this is really bad now because like it's not even that I'm doubting what was written in that Bible. It's that you guys straight up lied to me, and this is what made me so mad. So let's fast forward now. So I leave, step down pastoral staff, move back to Colorado. Whole bunch of stuff happens. I eventually get a call from head office because of my doubts still, because I told them I'm not going back to the church. And they're like, brother, we want to resolve your doubts about what you had in Korea because I sent them this message. We'll get into this late. There's so much more extreme things that happen during this. Edgar knows I won't bring those up because of like for respect to an individual, but let's just say what happened. I'm on the phone with them and I'm like, Hey, yeah, so yeah, I'm not giving my tithe. I'm never going again because you guys lied to me. There, brother, we didn't lie to you, brother. Oh, what do you mean? There's three in the glass case. You brought me three, but one of them was Mother's Bible. How do you bring Mother's Bible when there's only three in the glass case? And if you brought the original, why did you have a photocopy already ready in the bag? Because you wouldn't need that ready if you had the original. They're like, brother, they didn't lie to you. They really did grab it accident. They grabbed the accidental one. I'm like, how? And they're like, brother, it's because the things in the museum, brother, including that glass case, those ain't real. Those are replicas.
They're just
So
making it worse.
they said the reason they didn't get the one from there is because the originals are kept with mother and they grabbed the one wrong one on accident. So I was like, "Oh, you guys just made it really bad." I said, "You guys made it really, really bad." And let's just put it like this. I was told by a certain person when I was on the phone with them, they said, "Oh, don't record this conversation." They said, "Make sure you're not recording this conversation." Now I know why. So let's think about this, guys. So their excuse for bringing me the wrong Bible is because they said every single the 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 Bibles that are there, they're replicas. They ain't the real one. The real ones are kept with mother, and that's why they brought us me the wrong one. And I still brought up to him like, okay, well, if you brought me the wrong one, why do you have the photocopy? Because that's kind of messed. That's weird. And they couldn't really explain that. And then I told them, you guys know you just made this worse. And they're like, oh, brother, how? What do you mean? I'm like, well, let's just be honest. So I already caught you guys lying to me, but now it's just not me. It's every member that's ever been to Korea. Because every member that's ever gone to Korea, they go to the Church of God History Museum. And you know what they tell them? You guys have now become witnesses of the actual writings and teachings of An Sang Hong. So when they go back to America, these overseers, these assistants, people that visit, they tell all the members, brothers, don't doubt. I've seen it. I've seen Father's book. I've seen where he wrote Baptized Knox on Inch in 1948. You don't need a doubt. I've seen it. And maybe you get to see it someday too. Well, let me tell you, guys, and I don't care what you guys say. I've seen it. Um, so all you guys out here that are gonna say, "Oh, you're a liar, Mitch," do whatever. Let's take it to court because guess what? I was there. This is why I left the church. I saw it. Did you see it? Did you see what they did to me? Were you at the situation? No, you weren't. So you have no right to speak about what I'm speaking about. This is my experience. This is my opinion. And every everybody that's been to Korea and then came back and said, I'm a witness of these true teachings. No, you're not. Because guess what? According to what head office told me, it's all replicas. It's fake. It ain't the real thing. And again, I'm not saying that the real ones aren't out there. But my problem is, you've told everybody that they've seen the real thing. You've seen that actual document, you know what I mean? Now you're a witness. And I just want you guys to know it's not just me anymore that's been lied to. You guys have all been lied to with this. And I already warned head office. I told them I'm not playing around. I want facts. Not they messed up. They didn't take. I guess they didn't take my words as serious. As they say, I guess, they always say, the Koreans are the superior ones, right? They're the ones that know better than all of us. They're the chosen. So I guess they knew best when they just took me as an idiot, I guess, while I was there. And I think it's backfiring now. Um, it's backfiring now.
I just want to mention something real quick, Mitch, because again, they try to play people like Boo Boo the Fool every
Yep.
single
And
time, and
it's annoying. It's so annoying.
it
It's like,
really. I mean, I can imagine, bro, and my thought process is they weren't expecting you to catch on to what they were trying to do. They were trying to pull the sheet over your head, and you
yep,
caught on to it. And when you and this is my point. This is my beef with the WMSCOG. This isn't just about your trip to Korea. It's what we've been saying from the beginning.
yep,
That this is exactly what they do. They'll deny things. They'll tell you a certain narrative and tell you this is the truth. You find out later it's a lie, and you question it, and then they, instead of saying, "No, no, no, you're wrong," it's like, oh, we need to explain it away. So, in other words, you admitted that what you were saying was a lie, that it was a mistake, or whatever excuse you want to use, and now you're trying to cover it up instead of coming. So, my question is this: how easy would it have been if they knew that they? How do they accidentally grab the wrong one if they knew from beforehand that that Bible wasn't even in there? And if it was in her office and they're really trying to keep you, once you called them out on it, how easy would it have been to go into her office, grab the correct one, and show it to you?
Yep.
But they didn't. It's
They
much
didn't.
easier to,
And here's what happened, I was so gaslit while I was there, like to the extreme. And I'm glad this is in the archives right now. Like this video is going to be in the archives and nobody said what I said because nobody's my experience is let's be honest, we all have our very unique experience, but the church knows they messed up with me. And I told them while I was there, I told them, they asked me if I wanted to go to Korea, and I said yes, because if you guys can actually give me answers, I'll stay. Genuinely, because let's think, we spent our whole life in this faith, right? I saw this stuff online. I'm like, hey, maybe I'm wrong. And that's how fair I am with research, guys. You can't say I'm not fair with research and I don't listen to the other side or I'm just stupid because guess what? I didn't just leave the church when I heard that stuff. I went to Korea to get my answers. And you can't say, oh, some pastor, some leader messed up. No, I went to the source. I went to the source. And while I was there, they lied to me. And the reason I didn't even question them about the Bible and stuff, because, and we can explain further, maybe later, they already lied to me so much about the other books. I came to realize while I was there, like a couple of days in, they're not going to answer any of my questions. They're going to gaslight me the whole time. And I realized that. So I pushed, because I pushed every time. I always pushed, never got my answer. And so eventually, when it came to the book, I was just like, I'm not going to get my answer. But I told the person that was there with me, I was like, do you see this? They're like, no. Like, what? Like, anyways, I won't even get into that. But yeah, and then after that phone call, well, I told them they lied to me. That's when I start getting blocked by all the members that I knew. And so this is how this church operates, guys. It's just sad. I just want everybody to know nobody's seen the true books other than maybe the higher ups. And again, I give credit where credit's due. I don't know. Maybe there is the book out there. Maybe all these letters, everything are real. But guess what? I don't know because they told me everything in that thing is a replica. And everything you guys have been told, if you're a member watching this, believe me or not, I don't really care. I'm giving my opinion, and if you think I'm lying, if you knew how much I had to lose speaking out and what I'm talking about, if you knew how much I had to lose, you knew I wouldn't be lying. Because there's no reason to lie about what I'm talking about with how much I have to lose with his church. So if you guys want to go that way, let's do it. I mean, we'll save those comments and maybe we can use them for another video. And when things come out, and maybe in a court of law, we could even use that as some evidence or something how this group acts. So I just want you guys to be very aware. Um, Head office took me as a joke, but I'm telling you now, don't take me as a joke. Because if you do, I mean, I will be Michelle Cologne in sense, right? The next Michelle Cologne, and I don't want it to go that far, but I'm willing to. But yeah, a lot of stuff happened. There's so much more to the story. Um, this is one of the smoking guns, I think, of the World Messiah Church of God of what happened in Korea because um, at first it's just like, hey, I'm being lied to. Well, no matter what, we've all been lied to, but the beginning parts is like they're lying to me. But when they told me that in that phone call, I realized this is bigger than me. They've been lying to everybody. This isn't just me, this is all the leaders. Because they all come back saying, oh, I've seen Father's book, I've seen his photo, I've seen all this, his writings, so I know it's true. Well, guess what? You haven't. So, sorry. Maybe you need to go back and see the real ones because they didn't show us the real ones in the museum. And again, I will be honest, many museums do make replicas, right? Many museums do replicas and they put them out, but guess what? Museums let you know. So museums sometimes will bring the actual ones out, and they're like, in museums, this is considered like like a showing, and it's a very big, like with King Tut. There's a big one with like King Tut. When I was younger, King Tut's like, what do you call it? The Mummy. It actually came to the U.S. It came to Colorado when I was younger. We got to see the real one, but they have replicas of it. But museums let you know when it's a replica and when it's not a replica. And this is what's bad because they have never told anybody anything and there's a replica. They always let everyone know this is the truth. And to be honest with you, what's sad is why do you need a replica in the World Messiah Church of God headquarters? This isn't in like a public museum. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're in a secure building that no one can enter, and only authorized people can ever even go and see that museum in the first place. So why do you even need replicas at all? So it's just everything seems really weird and not normal, and we were all lied to. Um, yeah, that's what I got on that. So I got a
Yeah,
lot
man.
more. I got that. That's probably 25% of what I got on this place. 25%. And I got my receipts. Like my resignation letter. I should show you guys that sometime. I I should show you guys that legal jargon that hey, you want me to put really quick before we end this real quick. One sec.
Let's get it. Uh, oh, Mitch is pushing me to the limits tonight, guys. Oh,
Yeah.
let's get it.
So, first note, World Mission Society Church of God, I want to mention on my behalf, I did ask you that I could write my own resignation letter when I left. You guys said no. You guys sent this resignation letter to my overseer. However, it wasn't just sent to my overseer, it was also sent to me by a certain Kwanzaa. And I told my overseer I did not want to sign this document because they have pre-written language already in this resignation letter. You can see my writing right there. And let me read it to you what they say. I hereby tender my resignation from the pastoral staff of the World Messiah Church. This is what they had pre-approved wrote, right? I didn't write this. I hereby tender my resignation from the pastoral staff of the World Messiah Church of God for personal reasons stated above. Even after my resignation, I will assume full responsibility for any problems that may occur because of the faults or mistakes that I made during my pastoral ministry, and I will follow the decision of the Personnel Committee of the head office as for the resignation date and title adjustment. Now, I don't know if you guys read that language, but it says, I will assume full responsibility for any problems that may occur because of the faults or mistakes that I made during my pastoral staff ministry before or after. So, in other words, they could just try to hold you legally accountable for anything that happened before or after you left the church. So so what happened was I told them, I told my overseer I didn't want to sign this. He's like, you need to sign it. And so they messed up. The Quansonim sent it to me. And so I texted the Quansonim. And again, I just want you to know, church, I have the receipts if you guys want to go over there. I have your receipts. And I asked the Quansonim, hey, I don't want to sign this because it seems like a legal document that you guys can hold me legally responsible for anything that happened during or after. Um, but you know what she told me? Oh, no, brother, it's not a legal document. We can't do that. So I'm like, cool, screenshot it. So I just want to let you guys know I have it. The person that sent it to me said this isn't a legal document. And I also want you to know I talked to a lawyer. So if you guys want to play me by showing you this right here, I already talked to a lawyer. He asked, were you paid by the church? No. I was never a legal paid employee by the church. I paid the church, if anything. And second, not only was I not paid, but Quantinim told me this is an illegal document. So if you see my signature, you'll see my name, and I'll even have time-stamped date and everything that the message that Quantinim told me saying that this is not a legal document. I just wanted to send my basic resignation letter. They're the ones that wanted to make it all complicated and legal. So this is it. Um, they sent it to me. So I'd love to see you take me to court for a resignation letter that you sent me. See how that goes. But yeah, that's
It's
you hear that
wild,
legal
man.
jargon they try to get people hemmed up with. And this is why they get assistants that don't speak out or overseers that don't want to speak out because they have legal jargon pretty much saying, "Oh, we're going to hold you accountable. We can hold you accountable for anything you did while you were pastoral staff or when you leave." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm getting a lawyer because I know how you guys act for what you did to Michelle Cologne, um, what you did to many of the other leaders in the church. You guys have sued so many people. You guys have been on Good Morning America. I don't want to make it that. We can. We can bring the news media into this if you want to go that far, because I will. If you want to bring me into court, if you guys want to play that card, I'll play the card too. So, I have all the right to show this, and I just want you to know I'm legally backed with everything we're doing. So,
Facts. Facts,
yeah,
my brother. Nah, man, that was great, bro. You brought the smoke today, man. You brought the smoke, bitch. That's all I'm gonna say about that, man.
yeah, definitely. But yeah. Anyways, this will be posted. But again, um, hopefully you guys were able to get something out of it, and this is going to be on the archive, so let it be
I
known.
hope
I know I
that
kind of went a little into it more than I
that's
maybe
not
thought
good,
to,
man.
but it's good. I think it's important. I think people need to know this stuff, and I think if you're an assistant or you're an overseer out there that left, I don't want you guys to be scared. Um, you guys need to speak out. I don't care what they binded to you. Everything they've done is failed in the court of law. And I can guarantee you right now, friends, family, we got so many people that have left this church and they ended up taking you to court. I guarantee we all pitch in $20, it would probably pay for a lot of stuff. There's so many ex-members, you know. I think all of us would help in some way if anything did happen with the church. And I think we have good backing as well. And I don't want to be silenced by a or organization like this because if you're a real church, are you really gonna like sue people? Like I think they've kind of realized at this point they're losing, and it's only going to look make them look worse. When you go to a court of law, any court case there is, the lawyer is always going to look back at the judicial system across the United States and look for similar cases because they build their case off that. And when they go to court for the World Messiah Church of God, guess what they have to look off of? Failed court cases. World Messiah Church of God, NDA, failed. Suing Michelle Cologne, failed. And you know what a court's going to say when the World Messiah Church of God sues you? And then that lawyer brings up all these court cases. They're going to be like, this church is crazy. Like, what? They've had all these court cases. They've sued this many people. And
Man,
that's why I don't want you guys to be scared. So,
I would just say this. I've been on the call with their lawyers. They ain't scary at all, man. I
uh-huh.
couldn't even keep a straight face with some of the stuff that they were asking. And here's the thing, like we've been saying all night, this is a movement that has already started. It's been pioneered by, the goats of this movement. And if anything, they've showed us that there's strength in numbers. And so, what I mean, if they want to come at any of us, just know and
We're
call my
welcome.
bluff. I want you to. I got
We got
so
many people backing
many
us.
people.
Yep.
Like, just try it.
Yep.
Try it. Like, honestly, if you at this point, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, you guys have played the bully, you know what I mean, for so
Yeah.
long. Nobody's scared of you guys anymore.
You've
If
made too many people
anything,
leave. Yeah, you're right. And too many people have left. And I know so many ex-members, and I guarantee you, they would help in whatever way they could. They didn't wouldn't even need to because we have so many ex-members, so many people that left, they wouldn't even need to help that much. and we could defend a case. There's so many attorneys out there. I want to say many, but there's many out there that will do pro bono because they know how you church are. This church works, and they know how dangerous you guys are with the things you guys are doing to people, and they're fine doing it pro bono. And you guys, WMSCOG, you know what pro bono is. So, we don't even need to get into the term. So,
Yeah.
again, I put this out there. Just don't mess with my family. I won't have to go too much further in what I'm doing already. But you start messing with my family, I'll know it's you because my wife, my friends that are in the church, they don't watch these videos because it's called slander. So guess what? If they find out about these videos, guess who they find out from? Me? No. They're gonna find out from you. So how wrong do you think that sounds in a court of law or anything? Oh, you're trying to interfere with somebody's marriage and mess up their marriage or mess up their friendship with people? Because
Yeah.
that's so messed up. It's like the most messed up thing I could think about because they're trying to hinder our, they came to America, a place of freedom of religion, freedom of speech. It's something I defended in the military, and it's something I'll back up in the court of law. I'll say that in the court. I defended freedom of speech, freedom of religion, but this church is trying to hinder my freedom of speech. Not only they're using an outside source to do so. And if you guys do that, we'll know.
Yeah.
So
I love it, man. Bitch, you the man, bro. Thanks for joining today. And I think if people found it beneficial, man. I see a lot of people really appreciate, today's topic. And funny thing is, we weren't even planning on doing this,
no,
and
yeah, I honestly I was thinking about a different topic entirely, but when I start it's hard not to talk about. You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's hard not to, just because I every time we talk, Edgar, it's like I start talking, I'm like, how can I hide, you know? How can I not say things that I knew that could help people? And when every time I hide something, I feel like it's like the church still has control on me. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
You
So,
know, I'm honestly, unrelated, just related but unrelated. So, like, funny that you mentioned that because I've been saying that for the longest, and it's not. Look, I don't. I've told you, those who know me know me. I don't give a crap about this channel. Honestly, you
yeah.
look at my face. I'm tired, dude.
You
Like
I know
I'm
we
waiting.
went way
I'm
over
I'm
anyways. I
waiting for
know.
the. I'm waiting for new ex members to come out, jump on the YouTube thing, and take over. I'm ready to ride off into the sunset. But something that you said, you were like, we give this church too much power to
Yeah,
not to speak out.
we
So
do.
whichever platform you choose to speak out on, my thing is speak out because for instance earlier today I mentioned I did an interview right before I did this live with Mitch, and I was talking to a young lady who was in the cult since she was 5 years old, and her story, man, it is like it's gut wrenching what she went through. And just when you think the WMSCOG can't go any lower, you continuously hit new
Yeah,
lows. And one thing she mentioned to me is that she felt so much better after sharing her story because it's like she finally got that off of her chest. You
yeah.
need that for your healing.
Yeah,
You
if
know
you're
what I mean?
not gonna go to therapy, there's two ways to get over this group. You need to either go to therapy or you need to confront it head on, genuinely. And if um it's okay, I understand some people just don't want to speak, but there's ways you can help.
Yeah.
Um and I think that's the biggest thing is I think 2026 is gonna be a very big year. And I'm just letting you guys know, and you guys have your own rights to do whatever you want, but I have more to lose than probably most of you. Legally, relationship wise, I probably have more to lose than anybody. Skin in the game, should we say? But I'm doing it because I just feel like there's things that I've been watching your guys' channel for like almost 2 years now when I've been leaving, Jordan and Adams and yours, Egger, and I'm just like, man, no assistants, no overseers. Like you guys have left. Like come on. You know what I mean? You guys like everybody makes a difference, guys. I just want like you to know that, but these other guys like come on. Like really, I really hope some former overseers or assistants, and I mean this out of my heart, can are willing to stand up and actually say something because I'm surprised. Great Lakes Studios has been out for years and nobody's done it. It kind of hurts inside, honestly, but I just know how the church, how they kind of tie that higher up leadership down, but I don't think we should be tied down by that. They lose in court. We're here to back you. Um, don't be scared of them. You know what I mean? But I know everyone has their own story and their situation, so I understand everybody. But I think 2026, you know, we're almost into December. I think 2026 is going to be one of the biggest years with content, anything, everything. And I think the church knows it too. So,
It's coming. It's a brewing. Anyway, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Smoke Room slash Defusing WMSCOG, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
take care.
Peace.